episode 36.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the 99, where we have 99 cards, because Commander is number one, and I am one of your hosts, Sherman.
I'm Hope.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Brian.
And today, we're going to talk about some partners.
Yeah, some of the C20 commanders. We didn't want to do one of the face decks because everyone's doing the face decks right now, so we're going into the partners right now.
Super exciting. And we're going into the Mardu ones.
Which ones are in Mardu?
Probably Daniel's favorite ones,
Yeah,
right?
Trynn and Silvar. Like I said many times, very, very in love with the artwork of them. I will buy a playmat the minute I can for either of them.
Or
It's my favorite artist, Jesper Edgesing.
Love.
What do they do first, and then we'll get into the lore of them.
Okay, first one here, Trynn. Champion of Freedom, 3 and a white. Legendary creature, human soldier for 3/3. Partners with Silvar, but the ability is at the beginning of your end step. If you attack this turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token.
And
Fun.
she's a 3/3.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Silvar is a 3 black and red for a cat nightmare. That's a 4/2. It has Menace. Sacrifice a human. Put a +1/+1 counter on Silvar. It gains indestructible until end of turn. That part's crazy.
And
Really,
it's a
really.
base 4/2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
built-in indestructible with the ability. He is a sack outlet, which is already awesome. On top of that, he can turn himself indestructible, so
And get
you
bigger.
don't need to worry about protecting him except from very few things in Commander.
That are
Like,
in
Exile.
yeah,
Boots. You need to get him like 4
Some
fancy
nice cat
boots.
shoes.
yeah, exactly.
How many boots can you put on him? Lightning Greaves and the Swiftfoot boots. Put on the Trailblazers. Why not?
Like I said, I honestly don't even think he needs it, though. He survives a lot of hatred in this deck. If somebody board wipes, he turns it into an instant sack outlet to get rid of all your creatures. He is a solid commander, and he kind of becomes Voltron-esque with Trynn supporting him.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say is Trynn's ability naturally, obviously because they're partners, but supports Silvar in creating the human, so then you can attack with Silvar. Silvar is indestructible, and then your end step you attack, so you create a human, and then at your next turn you sack the human, and so on and
it's
so
just an
forth.
endless cycle.
It's an endless cycle of killing.
And if
Kind
you're
of
able to,
endless until you kill the person.
if you're able to give him vigilance,
Yeah.
just have him standing up the entire time.
Yep.
That would be
Oh
nice.
yeah, because you're in white. Yeah, that's not hard.
Yeah, it's quite easy to
So
do,
let's start with, we wanted to actually go over the lore of these partners because they're really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then after hearing the lore, you'll understand where this deck tech comes from, like why it's built this way.
So
And
you're,
even their names, Trynn, Champion of Freedom, and Silvar, Devourer of the Free.
like you created this deck around its lore.
Yes, exactly. I heard the lore of it, absolutely loved it, and a lot of it is based on that. So we'll get into why
Okay.
it is after that. But let's start
So it's
with...
definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, Brian and I have not read the lore, so it's all up to you two.
Surprisingly, I'm not that big of a nerd.
Whoa, what?
That's just for me. So, so essentially the deal with Trynn and Silvar is Trynn is a former Coppercoat, and the Coppercoats are basically like the army of the city of Drannith. They're the protectors, and Drannith is the main city on Ikoria on the ground. There's also other like villages and like settlements, one in the air, whatever. But we're not talking about that.
They're
We're
the
talking
big place.
Yeah, Drannith is the main hub, and then there's all the lands surrounding.
So it's like
Um,
Toronto.
Ew. No, I'm just kidding.
It's their New York.
Okay, fair.
It's like their main deal. So
Okay.
essentially, she becomes bonded with Silvar, but she still has a fierce loyalty to Drannith. Whereas often with the bonders and the humans that kind of side with the monsters, they typically don't necessarily go back to the main hubs because now they don't want to kill all the monsters because they understand.
become friends with them,
they're
yeah.
friends with them. They have this bond. It's a beautiful thing. But Trynn is first and foremost loyal to Drannith and loyal to the humans, which is it puts her in a weird place. So with loving Silvar and loving her city, what she does instead is to make the city strong and to keep Silvar away from attacking the city, she brings Drannith soldiers out to Silvar's lair to feed them to him.
Yeah, she lures soldiers
Hence,
away.
Silvar
The strong ones live and the
devours
weak
the free.
ones are eaten, but everything that she brings to Silvar gets eaten.
So she's just feeding.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yes.
So her belief is that this is what's best for the city because it's survival of the fittest, essentially.
Yeah, weed out the weak soldiers and then also protect the city by keeping the beast away.
Exactly.
That's
Right? Isn't that heavy metal?
It's a pretty... She's got a
I
pretty
find it very
psychotic
interesting that she's
method.
mono white when that's. I feel like she
It's
should
very
be white and black.
blackish, yeah.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah.
Well,
Isn't
yeah.
that wild?
That's like
that's brutal.
It's super heavy metal.
So-
really
it's like
cool.
the two different personalities.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
Well, and so
Well, I think the reason she's white is because she believes so deeply that this is what's right
in the
and
freedom
just
and justice,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very similar to how in the last set, like Heliod is white, even though he's kind of the bad guy. It's
Yeah.
still, if you're believing that you're just and true and good and all of that, like if it's like from a good
Yeah.
place and all of this, like then it still lends to white sensibilities.
But so
Tight.
the point of that is to understand what they do, is to understand how the deck is built. Because again, Trynn is sacrificing humans to Silvar. There's no way around that. That is what she's doing. She is dragging them outside of the city. And Silvar, as we know, is dangerous. She wants to keep it from attacking the city and killing the other humans. So with that in mind, we have two kind of sub-themes. We build Silvar a little bit Voltron-y because he's hard to block. He has menace, so you have to deal with him. 2 creatures, he becomes indestructible, so he survives the majority of board wipes. And we have the sacrificing mechanic, so lots of things that sacrifice humans, basically.
And it's just brutal, the fact that it is a sack outlet on its own.
Yeah.
And like, sure, it's
So-
a very specific sacrifice outlet, but if you build around that, because it's only sacrifice humans.
Yeah.
But if you work around that, like it's definitely got a lot of potential to get wild.
so is the main bulk of the creatures only humans?
Yes, almost all.
Ooh.
Well, and especially in those colors, right? Like in
Yeah.
the Mardu colors, you have a lot of between like soldiers
Right.
and
You can even start it off with like the Soul Sisters if you really want, because they're both humans too, right?
Yep.
You could, but I don't think you would put them in this deck.
This,
Right.
this
Hey,
deck
if
you want to
deck-
race. You want to
Yeah.
kill people.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to let people get to an answer for Silvar. You want
Yeah.
Silvar to come out and hit them like a truck.
Yeah, because like the Soul Sisters are mainly like, unless you're playing like the new Heliod, like life
Well,
gain is just like stalling, or like
but
they're just
Unless you actually like have to sacrifice them, their turn 1 drops, so they just sit there. But if you do need them, you can sacrifice to give indestructibility.
yeah.
So all of the humans in this deck fall into one of 2 interesting categories. They're either very, very strong humans or extremely expendable.
yeah, there's
Okay, that
Valuable
makes sense.
or cannon
That-
fodder.
Go,
So, like-
go with the lore, yeah.
So I'll let
But yeah,
Sherman
again, that makes
take it away
perfect
with
sense.
some of the creatures that are in the deck.
the needle ones.
Yeah.
So like, oh man, it was that thought. Sorry, my train of thought went away because I'm just thinking of like red shirts from Star Trek. Like, you would all be sacrificial lambs for me. But anyways, let's start off with the creatures here. Okay, you have the first one here, Alicia, who smiles at death. Of course you would. Of course, it's a 2 and a red, a 3/2 first strike. Whenever whenever she attacks, you may pay hybrid white black. If you do, return target creature card with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, tap and attacking. So you can sacrifice it, use Alicia to bring it back, and it's still attacking. That's dope.
And then even if it was going to be blocked and die or something, it doesn't matter because you just sacrifice it.
Yeah.
Like it's gorgeous. Like that's so good because so many of the expendable humans.
Yeah, they're
are
weak
2
ones. They're easy to get
they're-
back.
Yeah.
They are usually like 2 drops. So
Yeah, well, that's the whole
easy.
point. They're weak.
So
Yeah, so you're just going to sacrifice them, just let them go to the grave. And then you have Recursion, obviously.
Yep.
So, and this next card,
Black.
Well,
Well-
this next one is one of the best recursions for this deck.
yeah, okay.
Totally on
Angel
theme.
of Glory's Rise. 5 white. Okay, it's an angel. So, just because we want to sacrifice humans doesn't mean they all have to be humans. Just let's keep that in mind, okay? So this is an angel, 4/6 flying. When Angel of Glory's Rise enters the battlefield, exile all zombies, then return all human creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
The fact that they come to battlefield untapped.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's really, really awesome.
But again, like something like that is so specific, so it's not necessarily very good in most.
Yeah, you need a human-themed deck for it, and you need a human-themed deck with a graveyard full of humans.
Yeah.
Which may not normally be the case. Like, why on earth would you have all these humans in your graveyard? That is worth a 7-drop.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
Very true.
And that's the thing, it is a
couple-
7-drop. You know, it's very, very specific. It's returning all
But
humans.
yeah, that late game, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Especially if Silvar's still been out. No one's
Yeah.
gonna do
Yep.
it.
And it's already huge.
I-
And the one thing to keep in mind with that is Silvar getting big is Silvar's commander damage.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is scary.
Yeah.
I think was this set, in all honesty, they're really pushing for people to try to like making it a viable strategy to kill people with commander damage. Because we've all joked about saying like, oh, commander damage doesn't really matter as much. You know, it happens occasionally.
I think it depends on like who you're playing with and what the vibe of the day is. Because sometimes I'll like air quotes kill someone with commander damage and just like not.
Be like, that's
I'll be like, let's just keep playing till you're dead for real.
Yeah.
Like let's just like play the game. But
Well, it's all the same colors as Nikia when she came out and she was that super aggro deck a few years
Ooh.
ago.
Yes. Very
She's
true.
a fun one.
Oh, wait, the next one is, I always love this one. I don't know why people don't play it more often, but it's Banisher Priest. Okay, 1 white, 2/2 human cleric. When Banisher Priest enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Banisher Priest leaves the battlefield. This is so useful.
Yep.
Okay.
well, and like it's an answer, it's an exile, which is nice. And
Yeah.
also, if somebody were to be able to get rid of it to get their card back, you just sacrifice it to silver.
Exactly.
So, and like people always say like, oh, like I don't like these cards because like when you remove it, okay, the card comes back. It's like, okay, but what if you target a token?
Yep.
Okay, like I can't even tell you how many times I died to a Merit Lage.
Honestly, a lot of the time I see this go at a commander because people aren't willing to leave their commander
That's true.
out of the command zone with that. So they, a lot of the time, want to wait and put it back in the command zone. So you get a free commander exile out of it 9 out of 10 times.
That's so much fun. Okay, Bounty's Agent is the next one. 1 and a white, 2/2 human soldier with Vigilance. You can tap it and you sacrifice the Bounty Agent, destroy target legendary permanent. That's an artifact, creature, or enchantment.
Again,
Okay.
commander removal.
Yeah, this is one of the new cards in the set. So,
No, it's an older one.
is it?
Yeah, it's a reprinted one.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Regardless, though, even the
It's
fact
still
that it sounds very like Dominaria-y. I might be wrong, but just because it's artifact, creature, or enchantment.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's like the vibe I get from it. It's like historic.
We have combat celebrant next. Obviously, a human that allows an extra combat phase is pretty devastating if you are trying to kill someone with commander damage.
Well, this deck is actually based around doing combat damage.
And the exert trigger isn't going to hurt you because you exert it and then just eat it with Silvar anyways and take your next turn.
So true.
Nom nom nom.
Again, expendable creatures.
It was exerted, so it was too tired to continue.
Well, and it's like exactly, it's on theme. Well, it's like you exert it, you eat it, and then you bring it back with the angel.
Yep.
Hilarious. And then you get 4 combats out of 1 creature.
I run Dark Confidant. It's
Confidant.
Confidant. It's
It's a
more.
fancy.
It's one of the more expensive cards in the deck. It is around like $50-ish. Beginning of your upkeep, you reveal the top
What?
card of your library.
Yeah.
Put it
Good
into your
lord.
hand. You lose life equal to its CMC.
It's expensive because you see it in tournament play for like modern and stuff.
Where
Right.
you're trying. But again, we talk all the time in Commander. Your life is a resource, and using your life is really, really important.
Yeah.
Well, one comment that I heard earlier today was, which I completely agree with, but I've never said out loud, is your first 20 life don't matter.
Yep.
Well, like you don't panic until you get under like
Until you hit 19.
yeah. Because then you're getting close to the danger zone, and then once you're below 10, then you're like really, really worried.
Yeah.
So
We run Devout Chaplin. It's 2 and a white. Tap 2 untapped humans you control. Exile target artifact or enchantment.
That's
strong,
awesome.
strong.
Yeah.
I see that's targeted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so strong. Oh, then you have Disciple of Bolus. Okay, 3 and a black human wizard, 2/1. When the Cycle of Bolas enters the battlefield, sacrifice another creature. You gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the creature's power. So, yeah, it's like, was it Krav?
Yep.
In many ways.
Yeah, well, again, it's you're sacrificing creatures, you're at least getting some advantage to it. Basically, these creatures, everything that sacrifices in this deck either generates an advantage or feeds Silvar.
I just like the fact that you have the card draw for this, okay?
Yep.
Like, having a life is awesome. You know, it's like a bonus, okay? But, like, drawing X cards, especially if you're, like, sacrificing something that's, like, power 5. You draw 5 cards for 4 mana,
Yep.
and you still get a creature? Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's some strong creatures in the
Well,
deck.
and even like, especially because a lot of the stuff that you might have on hand is probably relatively low CMC that you're dropping, so you might be able to drop a bunch of stuff in a turn. So you're gonna need to fill out your hand.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Next one is Fire Flux Squad, 3 and a red. For a human soldier, 4/3. Haste. When the squad attacks, you may exile another target attacking creature you control. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, and the rest go to the bottom of your library in a random order.
Fun.
Very, very fun.
Really good to get rid of those tokens. Like we said,
We're
Trynn
playing
generates
roulette.
tokens.
Yeah.
So
Get rid of one of those
Yep.
and then bring something bigger out.
Yeah, go get
potentially.
Go
Or
get a
bring
better
something
one.
with like value out.
Yeah, because it's just a 1/1 vanilla creature. You don't care. So and you exile it. Who cares? It goes away. But you get another like creature that's stronger. Maybe at 3 power, 4 power. It's better than 1/1.
Or as long as it has like a decent ability.
We get Frontier Warmonger next. 3 and a red. He gives your creatures, when they attack one of your opponents or planeswalkers, they gain menace till the end of the turn.
And it's a 4/4, and it's dope.
They gain what?
Manache.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Colonel Sanders is next.
I want that guy.
General Kudro of Draneth. He's 1 in Orzhov. Other humans you control get 1/1. Already great in the deck.
Does he come in the deck?
No.
Or he's just in the set?
No,
It's just
in
in set.
Whenever he or another human enters the battlefield under your control, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. So he is graveyard hate built in. For 2, sacrifice 2 humans. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater.
That's really good, especially like in this set and in Commander in general. You tend to have a lot of people with creatures that have power 4 or greater, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of commanders are over that threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used a card that D-Spark card, power
Yep.
4 greater, and I got rid of a commander today.
Yeah.
These
well,
work strong.
just even the built-in graveyard hate on ETB for humans is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Especially
He-
when that's all your...
Yeah, he's a human lord, which is awesome. So he has a lot of buff ability, because even just, like I said, making these expendable creatures that I don't care if they die, even 1 stronger, is a big deal.
Something about you saying buff ability after calling him Colonel Sanders really doesn't sit right with me.
Oh, he's buff.
Just
He's
the idea of like a super
absolutely
like
yoked.
I just like had this beautiful and terrifying like vision of Colonel Sanders super jacked with no shirt on, covered in like chicken grease.
What's
Mr.
wrong
Clean.
with you?
Kind of turned on.
Gerard Weatherlight Hero really, really fits well into this deck. He is a human soldier. We've talked about him before. But when he dies, you can exile him and return all artifacts and creatures that were put into the graveyard this turn back to the battlefield.
so strong.
So he is a wicked card to be able to sacrifice to Silvar, or just to be on deck for if a board wipe hits.
Out of curiosity, what artifacts or enchantments would you say that, like, if you were to sacrifice him to bring back, would they be like enchant creatures?
No, it doesn't bring enchants back, just artifacts and creatures.
Oh, okay.
But again, if somebody Vandal blasts you, then you can sit there and you can just sack him to Silvar, get all your artifacts back. If somebody destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, that's really
So
nice.
sweet. He's so strong.
So
Like,
you can in response sack everything to Silvar, buff him up so he's indestructible. Gerard hits the graveyard. All those
Everything
creatures you
comes
just
back.
sacrificed come back. He sacrifices for the city.
yeah.
Wow.
That's why he was such a great commander when he first came out.
Yeah.
And, like he
Oh,
was like the
that's
Boros
Boros.
like soldier leader. Okay, he was so awesome. So, but the next one is I don't even know how to say
Grim
it.
Harrospecs.
Harrospecs. Huh, interesting. Okay, 2 and a black. It's a 3/2. Human Wizard has morph for 1 black. Okay. But whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card.
This is your draw engine.
Yep.
This
Oh,
is the
there's
one.
a lot of draw
Yeah,
engine
but
in
like,
this.
what a delightful draw engine.
It's
On a
fantastic.
free drop, nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
And it's a morph too, so people don't really know what it does until you flip it over.
I don't like morph.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it as a morph personally.
I just don't like the mechanic.
Harvester of Souls, another great one. The same thing. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, or non-token creature dies, opponents as well draw a card.
Also,
Yeah.
it looks like if a goblin was a demon, and I kind of hate it, but that's irrelevant. Same.
Imposing Sovereign! 1 and a white, 2/1 human. Creatures your opponents control. Enter the battlefield tapped.
Super annoying.
So
Yep.
annoying.
Again, you're trying to get Silvar in. Anything you can do to get his damage in.
They tap,
Is
they
important.
can't block.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're me and I play Masako.
Yeah, same.
I
I
love
play
this.
Masako in my dragon deck.
I
That
love
way you can
this one.
consistently attack.
Cannonball, console of allocations, 1 white black, 2/3 human advisor. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I love this card. It's such an underrated card. It's so underrated. Like everyone forgets about it and they're just like, it's only 2 life because we're all used to the shocks and the fetches
No,
and everything.
But 2 life for every non-creature spell adds up super fast.
And you're gaining the life and people just forget it and they
There's
look
just
over
little
like,
chip damage. And
yeah.
it just
It's
goes,
like, how
it
much
goes
life are you
super
at?
rapidly.
86. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Mogus puts in work
that-
with the 2 damage
that's
every
it.
turn.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what happens when Brian or Daniel play their Selvala decks. Because I'll be like, what's your life? And they're like, 94. I'm like,
yeah.
It
What?
adds up real quick.
3,
Yeah.
2, 3 life per turn per
Yeah.
round.
It's
Especially
really
if
fast.
Seaborn uses out.
Just taxing everyone.
King Makar, the Gold Cursed.
Yeah.
He's one I actually don't see played very often.
King
he has
Makar,
really
the
cool.
Gold Curse, really
he is-
King Midas.
He is human. He has an inspired mechanic. So whenever he becomes untapped, his ability triggers. And when he becomes untapped, you can exile target creature. If you do, you get a colorless token named Gold that sacks for any mana. It's treasure token.
Yeah. It's gold. I think gold tokens are better than treasure tokens. So, because. But anyway. So, the next one is the Knight of the White Orchid. White. 2/2. Human Knight. First Strike.
I love
Man,
First
so many
First
things.
Strike, I think, is an underrated
I love First Strike.
ability.
But when a knight enters the battlefield, Knight of the White Orchid enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, which tends to happen, especially if you're not going first, then you get to search your library for a plains card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So it just automatically comes in.
Any
Great round.
planes and untapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
And, then-
round.
and that's specific to planes, right?
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the
Like a
triumph?
triumph to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see. Let me go fetch the new land now.
Well, he'll pull shocks out as well and stuff. Like
He'll
it's
pull shocks,
solid
he'll pull
ramp.
fools, he'll
Yeah.
pull triumphs.
It is really, really solid round.
Those triumphs everyone said it was going to be $1.
yeah,
Hilarious.
definitely not.
Definitely
Yeah.
not.
Nope.
Well, not everyone. That's
I'll
not
still
fair.
buy him.
I'll still buy it for $1
A
each.
very vocal minority.
Pardon me?
A very vocal minority. So.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, if you still want to sell them to us at that price.
Magus
Yeah.
of the Disc is the next
Oh
one.
my god.
Human Wizard, 2/4, enters tapped, pay 1, destroy all artifacts, enchantments, and creatures.
And then another Magus of the Wheel.
2 in the red. 3/3 human wizard. For a 1 in the red, you tap it, sacrifice Magus of the Wheel. Each player discards their hands and draws 7 cards.
Wheeling and dealing.
So
dealing.
the disc, you sack him to.
You can destroy all creatures, yeah.
and to Silvar, and then he stays around.
Well, no, you've got to sack him to his ability. But that being said, Silvar still stays. Everything else dies.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's
Awesome.
delightful.
You have a Mentor of the Meek here for the more draw, so in case anyone doesn't know what Mentor of the Meek does, it's a 2 and white human soldier, 2/2. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 mana. If you do, draw a card.
So this will hit any of those humans that you're creating with Trynn.
Yep.
It'll hit
Yep.
a lot of these very like vanilla humans.
Mhm.
Very, very nice. Next one, Micaeus,
Love Micaeus.
Lunarch. Oh, I love this card. I totally forgot you had this in there. Okay, it's an X and a white. All right. Micaeus enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Now, you can tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on Micaeus, or you can tap it and remove a 1/1 counter from Micaeus to put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control.
It's a solid
good.
card, yeah.
So good. Oh, and you know what? For the price that how much he costs, I think he's underrated.
Oh, yeah.
So do I.
He is a really, really cool card. The ability to put counters on everything for a tap is really strong.
Everything is ridiculous.
The next one is kind of a bit of an alternate win con. If people are ignoring your humans and not taking them seriously, they think the city's too weak. Riders of the Gavanry deals with that. It's two colorless white for 3/3 vigilance. As it enters, choose a creature type. Humans you control have protection from the creatures of the chosen type.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that can be really cool.
That's
Especially
really
somebody's
nice.
Well, because so many people play tribal decks, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Zombies,
so-
cats, dragons, you name it.
Me too.
Yep.
I love tribal decks. So, a lot of people do. They're fun. It's fun to have a theme.
The next one is Skirt Egg High Priest. 1 in a black. Is a human cleric for a 1/2. Has Morbid. Ooh. You can tap it. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Put a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying onto the battlefield, and you can activate this ability only if a creature died this turn. Since
Lord.
you're sacrificing things anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
A creature
fantastic.
will have died. That's just a fact.
This next one is a new card from the Commander set, and it is amazing. Species Specialist. 2 black for a human warrior. As it enters, you choose a creature type. Whenever a creature of the chosen type dies, you may draw a card.
Honestly,
yeah.
this is going to be good in any
Just
tribal
select
deck
human?
that runs black.
That's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Amazing.
Because draw is so important, and just being able to get that draw in any tribal deck black.
Not only that, it's not any creature you control, any creature of the type you choose.
So even
So-
if you're someone's opponent,
Someone's playing Teysa and they've got their spirits out, let's choose spirits and see where it goes.
that's so crazy.
Or if you, what's the artifact that makes everything slivers?
Hivestone.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So, and it's the best thing
Which
about
is
it
only
too.
like $2.
Yeah, the best thing about this too is that it's a May trigger as well.
Yeah.
So you're not.
So you're not going to draw yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no fear in that.
I mean, you can, but don't.
Yeah. Would you?
Sir Conrad the Grim.
Yeah. This was a Eldraine one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a legendary
I-
knight from Eldraine.
Really liked all of these uncommon voices.
3 black. Whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves the battlefield, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. And he has a mana sink where you can mill each player's top of deck into graveyard.
I find how it specifically states like anywhere's but the battlefield and then or the battlefield.
Yeah.
Everywhere,
Everywhere. Then you have Teysa Karlov,
obviously.
obviously, for a 2 white and a black. The 2/4 human advisor. The a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger. That ability triggers an additional time. And creature tokens you control have vigilance and lifelink. So dope. So dope.
Oh, Bessie.
We have the Thalia Heretic Cather, 2 and a white. First strike, creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped.
So annoying.
It is definitely a solid
It's like, do you
hate card.
have blinded obedience in here? No, you don't.
No?
That's what it feels like at this point in time.
That would just tilt me right off the earth.
We have Thraben Doomsayer, 1 white, has a tap to
Ooh.
create a 1/1 white human token.
Uh-huh.
I think we all know what that's for.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's
It has Faithful Hour as an ability. As long as you have 5 or less life, other creatures you control get +2/+2.
That's kind of cool. So, like, your dire
Like the
need,
last stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you're in grave peril.
We're doomed! Doomed! Everybody
Ooh.
rise! Get stronger! Okay, Titan Hunter. 4 in the black for a human warrior is a 4/5. At the beginning of each player's end step, if no creatures die this turn, which that's not going to happen,
But,
Titan
maybe.
Hunter deals 4 damage to that player. You can tap 1 in a black to sacrifice a creature and you gain 4 life.
That's all right.
That's not
Also, he
bad.
has like a chainsaw sword, so I'm just throwing that out
It's
there.
like Gears of War.
I was about to ask. I was like, is that a centipede on his back?
No,
That's a pretty big
You might
centipede.
need some glasses there, Brian.
Here, do you want to borrow mine?
No, I'm fine.
I'm an old man!
We have Verge Rangers, which was their attempt to give white a little bit of ramp. So it's 2 and a
Respectable.
white, first strike, 3/3. You can look at the top card of your library at any time. As long as an opponent controls more lands, you can play lands from the top of your library.
Oh, I like that.
It's a really, really solid card, I think.
That's interesting. That's
Is
really
it a rare?
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Huh.
not bad at all.
I had to put Winota in because she is just so good. She triggers, obviously, with Silvar's ability. She's 2 in Boros, a human warrior 4/4. So she is a strong human.
Yeah.
You don't sacrifice her. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can put a human from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until the end of the turn. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order.
That's
So
amazing.
nice.
Yeah,
Right?
so...
Go and fetch a companion to go attack with. Yeah.
Well, and Silvar is the one who's doing the attacking, right? So
Yeah.
she triggers every time with it and brings your humans out indestructible mode. And if they're weak, you're going to eat them anyways.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yum yum.
It's
Lunchtime.
We have Xanthid Necromancer, 2 and a black. Whenever it or another human creature you control dies, you get a 2/2 black zombie token.
I mean,
Ah,
whatever.
You're still
Create a
creating something.
zombie army
Yeah.
And then obviously Zulaport Cutthroat because creatures are dying.
because duh.
Left, right, and center.
and
Yeah.
every deck that has creatures dying needs Zulaport Cutthroat.
I think it's.
I don't run as Zulaport in my creatures deck.
Well, you should.
Oh, I don't.
But there's so many you can run. You can run like Blood Artist or anything. But Xenoport is a nice, cheap thing or creature to do the same thing.
Obviously, creatures are the main theme of this. We have a lot of things based on feeding Silvar. We run a few enchantments, not very many. One is Bastion of Remembrance. When it
Which
enters,
is one of the other new ones, yeah?
Yeah.
when it enters, you create a 1/1 white soldier, which is again on brand.
Perfect.
Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. You gain a life.
Yeah. I love this card. This,
Zap them while you make stuff bigger.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's
Dictate of Erebos because
Duh.
Of course.
I mean, come on.
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Indestructibility because
I mean, come
although
on.
Silvar can live through pretty much anything, Trynn can't.
cannot.
Yeah. So we do have to protect her a little bit.
Yeah.
This next one's an interesting one.
Drink and be merry. The card.
What?
Sorry. Sorry. Outlaws merriment.
Outlaw's Merriment. Okay, the 1 red, white. So it's a little annoying to cast, but it's
But
an
I mean, you
enchantment.
probably have white.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
But it's fun because at the beginning of your upkeep, choose one at random. Create a red and white creature token of those with these characteristics. Okay, it's either going to be a 3/1 human warrior with trample and haste, or a 2/1 human cleric with lifelink and haste, or a 1/2 human rogue with haste. And whenever this creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. So hilarious.
So fun.
I
So
like
much fun.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them are really, really good to.
This is like my favorite thing is that like this you're just like so genuinely excited and this is like the best thing
Yeah.
about
No, I
podcasting
like
with
so
you.
far. I'm really enjoying the theme of this deck.
It's
Right?
it's super
It is-
fun to
I
play.
have to build this.
Well, and
Or
especially
something
like
close to.
with having like the like knowing a little bit more about Trynn and Silvar than seeing all the cards that Daniel decided to slot in. It's like it's interesting to see like how everything kind of all ties in together.
Yeah. It's like
It's
who's
super
strong,
fun.
who's weak, who are
Yeah.
we going to sacrifice today?
Yeah.
We run Pariah in the deck because we have an indestructible creature in the command zone. It's really, really easy to. Pariah, for everyone who doesn't know, is an enchant creature. All damage to be dealt to you is dealt to the enchanted creature instead.
So if you have all the damage is dealt
Sack.
to Silvar. Silvar's indestructible.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Smothering Ties is the last one because it's just such a good. There's no reason to not run Smothering Ties
Yeah.
in anything.
Well,
if
and-
you have a copy, it's
And and we were actually able to find one in the city, even though Brian bought all of them.
it comes in the deck. What? Well, it comes in the Jarina deck. I basically the Jarina deck I split into little insight into my mind. I turned my Boros soldiers into Jarina, so she's the commander of that, and then I split the other half of the deck into this.
Ah.
So I turned that commander precon into 2 decks.
Which is basically what all the commander precons are becoming.
Our
At least 2 decks.
yes, our artifact package is basically we just want Silvar to hit way harder. We understand he's a truck. We're giving him gas now.
Yeah.
And other things like, you know, you have the Skull Clamp, which can, like, sack things, get you some draw.
Spoilers.
I didn't know that you're gonna run through them. My
Well,
bad.
of course we're going to run through them.
So for artifacts, we start with Black Blade Reforged. That's
Which
the one at the
secretly
top of
does
the
nothing.
list. Top of the list.
Black Blade Reforged, which does nothing.
2 mana. Equip creature gets 1/1 for each land you control. Awesome.
Yeah.
Equip legendary creature 3 or 7 for a non-legendary. But 3 to put it on Silvar, not hard, especially 5 mana to cast Silvar means that Silvar turns into like a 9/7
Yeah. Commander damage,
before he starts eating.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So-
especially
so
if you're
big.
out here with these Smothering Tide tokens. It's like, whatever.
That's
Mana means
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great card for this deck, Heirloom Blade. Blade. It's another
Blade.
It's the Heirloom Blade.
Equip creature gets +3/+1. When it dies, you can reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card that shares a creature type with it. Put it onto the battlefield, or put that card into your hand, and the rest on the bottom in your order.
Sounds an awful lot like human roulette.
Yeah, well, it fetches more humans to your hand to keep going.
Yeah. Inquisitor's Flail for 2 mana. I love this one, okay? If a equipped creature would deal combat damage, it deals double that damage instead. Now, it's
That
not
makes-
double strike. It deals
That's like
twice the damage.
it's like Gisela.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That makes Silvar like a
This is
one-hit kill.
terrifying.
Yeah. But that's just a first ability.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another ability on this.
Oh, sorry. Oh, wait.
There's
Alright.
a downside.
There's a downside though.
Or is there?
If another creature would deal combat damage to the equipped creature, it deals double that damage to equipped creatures. The equipped creature instead.
Does it matter when your creature is indestructible, though?
So it deals.
Tell him, Daniel.
It deals double, but it also takes
Who
double. But
cares?
again, Silvar's
The Inquisitor's
not
Flail
afraid
giveth,
of nothing.
And
No.
it taketh away.
Path of
Silvar
Exile,
doesn't
Silvar's
care.
afraid of.
Yeah. Super scary.
Sword to Plowshares? Okay.
I'm
yeah.
He's afraid
fair.
of the magic.
We run a lot of
That's almost like-
of ramp.
Kind of on brand, also, that he would be like, have issues with things that were very, like, magical.
Yep.
You know?
He's a monster.
How delightful.
Mhm.
Or is he a friendly cat?
He's a friendly cat.
So we run the lockets. We run Orzhov and the Rakdos locket.
Yeah.
We run Sanctuary Blade, which was just printed. It is silly. It's actually funny. That's what I did the whole time I kept playing
Really?
it. I kept yelling Sanctuary.
You really just speak to my.
It's an artifact for 2. As it becomes attached to a creature, choose a color. Equipped creature gets 2/0 and has protection from the last chosen color.
So crazy awesome.
That's
Then we have
A lot of the
Skull
time-
Clamp.
A lot of the time, it's actually for Trynn, though.
yeah. Give her protection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skull Clamp. Oh, I didn't know that was in the deck.
Yeah. Surprise.
You ruined it.
So again, it's another thing. You're getting that draw advantage for your creatures dying.
There's also
Yeah.
Soul Ring in the deck. Spoilers.
Soul Ring. We run Swiftfoot because we want him to get going fast.
Probably need Lightning Greaves also. You
Nope.
get-
we don't have it in here.
Because
That's all
he
good.
needs 4 shoes.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
We run the Talismans, Conviction, Hierarchy, and Indulgence. They, at their worst, are 2 mana for a 1 colorless. At their best, they are a color fixer at the price of a damage. But again, we're weeding out the weak here. We don't care if we lose some
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Tenza Godo's Maul for 3 mana. Okay, it's a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. As long as it's legendary, it gets an additional +2/+2. As long as it's red, it has trample, and
Oh.
the equip cost is 1.
So Silvar gets 2/2 and trample.
No,
Silver
Silvar
has
gets
3/3.
3/3 and
Oh,
trample.
it gets 1/1 and 2/2.
If it is legendary, it
Oh,
gets
an
additional
additional.
+2.
Jesus.
So it's a 3 mana for a 3 to give it a 3/3
trample.
trample plus its equip cost of 1.
The next is a great
Was that-
equipment.
Was that a 3 to drop that
Yeah.
or a 1?
3 drop 1.
3 to drop it.
So with how much artifact ramp we have, it's very often we have a lot of early mana to get stuff like this out. We're just preparing for Silvar. The next one is Vorek Battlehorns, and this was a really, really fun one to find. It's 2, and its equip cost is 1. Equip creature has trample, and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So this is your Whisper Silk Cloak, or your Rogue's Passage for Silvar.
Yeah.
It can't be blocked. You just try and crush people because they're too
Menace,
afraid.
yeah.
They're too afraid to deal with them.
Well, Menace means he has to be blocked by 2 creatures, and
And this says
Vorek means you can't block with 2 creatures, so it makes
You
him
can't,
blockable.
bro. You just
You
can't.
just can't.
yeah, it's like when the same deal when someone has like the sky blind equipment where like creature can't be blocked by flying creatures, and the creatures you put on someone that's flying. Same deal, right? But just this one's commander, and yeah, it's scarier.
You're a sneaky one, sir.
Yeah. This deck runs not many instants. Again, we're not magic. We're not brains in this deck. We're brawn.
This deck is smash.
Yeah.
Big beats.
Silvar smash.
So we only have 4 instants in the whole deck. Number 1, Crackling Doom. And it is just the Mardu colors.
Doom.
Deals 2 damage to each opponent. Each opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control.
So
That would be very annoying.
yeah, that's
This deck sacrifices, what can I say? Dire Tactics.
Accept your
It
vote.
is
But
Orzhov.
wouldn't you have to sacrifice Silvar then?
no, because
Each
the opponent.
Oh, never mind.
Silvar don't afraid of nothing.
Nope, not at all.
Dire Tactics, exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. I should also mention, I wanted to put an Ozloth in it, but I didn't get another Ozloth. But
I thought we got 2.
yeah, but 1 is for a different deck.
Oh.
Zexara.
And Dips.
Yes, but that's neither here nor there. Dire Tactics, exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to its toughness. Which, Master Warcraft is a great way to annoy your friends. It is 2 and then hybrid Boros, so either red-white for either of the others. Instant, casted only before attackers are declared. You choose what creatures attack this turn, and you choose what creatures block and how they block.
No blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want.
I declare nothing.
Absolutely
Block with-
nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, the other thing too is that you choose how things attack. So if somebody does have something problematic
You can
that
have
has hexproof, you're not targeting. You don't choose a target. You just choose what creatures attack and how they attack.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't like Brian's Seedborn Muse, well, Seedborn's attacking me this turn. We'll
and
see.
you block it with
And
something like Silvar.
absolutely dominates
her.
it.
She's just looking for a cat to sit on her lap.
Then we have Mordify, 1 Orzhov, destroy target creature enchantment. We have some additional win cons and make the table furious things in our sorcery. So number 1, Chandra's
Remix to
Ignition. Any red deck that can make a creature big should run Chandra's Ignition because it's a dumb card.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Respect.
5 mana, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent.
That's a board wipe, doggy.
Does that count as commander damage or no?
No, it
No.
doesn't. But if you have lifelink on the creature, it counts as Silvar doing 40 damage to each creature on the field.
And you gain,
Oh,
and the opponents too, right? So
Yeah,
you
it's-
gain all of that life.
It's pretty bonkers. But if you can get him up pretty high, which again is not very hard in this deck,
Yeah.
you can really get it going. We have Divine Reckoning because, again, each player chooses a creature, creature they control, destroy the rest. Who do we choose?
Trynn.
Exactly, because Silvar can't be done.
You have Dusk and Dawn. I love this card. Dusk, 2 white. Sorcery, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. But at the same time, you have Dawn, which is sorcery, and it has Aftermath, which is return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand.
Oof.
Which is a lot because we're sacrificing all the weak ones and we're keeping all the best ones.
I want to skip the next one and we'll do it the very last.
Do you want to save it?
Yeah,
It's so broken.
yes.
What's that restaurant that you like with all the...
Yeah, we have
Stuff on the
Shenanigans
walls?
because I absolutely love saying shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans is a sorcery for one colorless, 1 red. Destroy target artifact, and it has dredge, so you can bring it back real easy and just keep those shenanigans going. What's that place with all the goofy stuff on the walls?
Pistol whip 'em.
Twilight's Call, 4 black. You can play it anytime you can cast an instant for 2 more. So for 8, you can cast it at instant speed. Each player returns all creatures from his or her graveyard to the battlefield.
Which could be good.
It's really, really nice. And then you have Urza's Ruinous Blast. Of course you would.
A great way to, again, make all of your friends mad.
Yep. 4 and a white, legendary sorcery. So you have to have a legendary creature out before you play this. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. So
Everything except your commanders.
Yeah.
Except for
good. And
Silvar.
And Trynn.
Okay, let's go back to that one card
Yeah,
we
so-
skipped.
This card just should not have been printed. This is, in my opinion, a ban-worthy card.
It's one of the new cards from...
Mythos of Snapdex.
Yeah.
Ban-worthy cards are things that are A, overtly powerful, or B, overtly not fun. And this card, in my opinion, fits into both categories.
And of course, you put it into this deck.
Oh, you have to.
It's not banned now.
There's no way not to. So, Mythos of Snapdex. 2 colorless, white. Each player chooses an artifact, creature, enchantment, planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control and sacks the rest. If you spend black and red for the 2 colorless, when it's spent that way, you choose the permanents for them. So you choose what ones they keep, and they sack everything else. This, because it does not say choose target creature, you chooses not targeted. It gets around everything with hexproof, shroud, anything like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Brian, for some reason, has, I don't know, Greater Oromancy
Heroic
and Sterling Grove. Heroic Intervention does nothing.
No, he has Indestructible. Never mind.
Yeah. Sacrifice it all.
Good lord.
Again, this deck is all about sacrificing. We're
Good
feeding
lord.
we're feeding him even if he doesn't know.
So strong. Mythos cards were
I think
like,
the Mythos cards are
interesting.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was one of the other good ones? Was it Brothos? Mythos of Brothos? Is that the green one?
I can't
think so.
remember. I got all of them.
Some of them are good. Some of them are okay, but Snapdex is definitely one of the ones that's better.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones, if not the best one, I think.
Yeah, well, it just things that aren't fun are a lot of the time the ban for like the criteria for ban worthy, and it's not fun. Losing the best things you have while someone chooses the worst ones you have to stay.
And
is
like it's
just
a
brutal.
gift because you know that the look on your face would be like, oh, well, I mean,
Do
I'll let
they
you
even
keep
have to
your
even
soul.
select anything? They can just be like, I don't want you to have anything.
No, you have to choose one. You choose
Oh,
one.
okay.
But
It's
then-
part of the cast.
But then at the same time, you can use this as a politics tool. I personally never would. I'm a monster. But
Sherman would.
Oh, you guys know I would.
Yeah.
All about politics.
not me. I would just get rid of everything that was just not good.
But
That's
this
Daniel.
does. But it does definitely.
Are you
like,
sure
blend.
about that?
Yeah, are you sure about that? My
Are
favorite.
you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to attack? Yes, always.
Every time. No regrets.
I fear nothing. I am Silvar.
As soon as I
Feed
attacked him,
me.
it was ruthlessness.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not what it's about. Sometimes it's about standing your ground and pissing off Daniel.
Yeah, even if you die.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I'm not going to negotiate with you.
I
will not be a
sacrifice.
hostage in my own house.
I sacrifice myself
Get
for
a-
the cause.
We get a
boys.
message from Daniel next week.
This deck is about sacrifice. I would understand.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for respecting me.
But yeah, let
Woman.
us know. The deck list is going to be in the show notes. Let us know what you think about Trynn and Silvar and just about the
Oh.
C20 commanders and partners in general.
And if anybody is hype about any Ikoria lore, which it's only okay, but some of it's really good, like this, please talk to me about it. I love it, and that's all I want to do. And if you built a Trynn and Silvar deck, please tell us.
Yeah,
what you
let me
did.
know what you would put into this deck, kind of how you would build it. Do you like the lore approach? Would you try and make it more competitive? Because you absolutely can. And again, you can pretty easily up the friend hatred in this deck by putting in things like Grave Pact, Martyr's Bond, your
Butcher.
the
traditional
usuals.
Yeah.
your traditional sacrifice package that comes with every
Yeah.
aristocrat style
Yeah.
deck.
I like the fact that you, like, we know you, Daniel. You normally go, like, full on, like, powerhouse, everything going in. But the fact that you made this into a storyline
Yeah.
deck is really, really interesting. So,
I think-
I think it's really, really
I feel like
cool.
Daniel has two build styles. It's go hard, or it's like
Whatever
I
the
have-
theme is.
I have
Yeah.
a theme and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I have played this deck a few times, and likely on the stream Wednesday I will play it, just because I think it's cool for people to actually see it. And if it's not me playing, maybe I'll get Hope to play it and
to pilot it.
pilot a different one. But generally speaking, it just played out really, really well. No one was inherently unhappy with what was going on in the game. Everyone seemed to be having fun. It's not overwhelmingly powerful, but it is really, really fun. It's not a crazy budget. There's, like I said, Dark Confidant is high. I and my deck list have some expensive lands, but if you strip those out, this is a very, very affordable deck that's really, really easy to access right now.
And like we said, the price in lands is only for the ability for them to come in on tap.
Well,
Yep.
and also a lot of the costs that you're looking at, like a lot of these cards are just cards that were in the Mardu commander deck.
You can make nearly this deck by just buying the precon.
Yeah. Like, even if you just took away Dark Confidant. Okay, that's like a $50, $60 card. Okay, that brings down your budget so much. Just you can put in something else if you want. It doesn't matter. So
yeah, within a couple different things depending on what you decide to like slot in and out. But like, there's definitely a lot of like potential to make this your own. Even if you decided to go a slightly different route, whatever it may be. If you also put in like another like a token package, like token doublers and other things along those lines. Like if you
because you're in white.
I absolutely forgot that there was one other card we had to talk about. It's Sunhome, Fortress of the Legion, and it's a land that comes in untapped, and you can pay 2 in Boros to give target creature double strike until the end of the turn. It is definitely not one to be underestimated. It is a powerhouse land card.
Especially for an indestructible cat.
Yeah, exactly.
With trample, maybe.
And that's
Menachem.
The big problem with commanders like this with an instant ability is it doesn't seem like such a big deal to get hit by a 4/4 or a 5/3. You know, it's coming in. It's a light friendly guy, but then again, suddenly they pump in the Sunhome Fortress of the Legion, and then sack 3 humans to it, and suddenly things are pretty different. You want to block this if you can.
Yeah, well, because that damage that you already took is enough that it'll put you over the edge when he hits you that final time, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to...
And with how cheap all these creatures are, I could see even, like, attacking wide with all these little 1/1/2/2s, and then when they go to do the block, you just go...
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get rid of what you need to do, and you're able to threaten the board and get your chip damage in if people don't. But yeah, like I said, we won't dwell too long on it. It's like I said, it is a lore themed deck, and I really put a lot of effort into this. As soon as these 2 commanders were spoiled, I wanted to build a deck, and I knew I was going to want to sacrifice things to it. When the lore came out, I was just like, all right, there's no way that I can't make the deck this way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is my human death tribal.
I feel like this is like the closest that you've ever gotten to jank. Like, you're towing the line. You spent way too much time in Sherman.
But yeah, again, like I said, let us know how you would build this, how you would change it, and honestly, have you built any of the partners from the C20 decks? Because I think every one of them has amazing partners. And if you don't smile saying Shabraz the Sky Shark, you have no joy in your life.
Inside. So hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We also stream every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. As well, you can also get in touch with us through our website, either on the comments on our blog post or through our contact page. Lastly, check out the what's it called?
Twitch
website?
Website?
Yeah, website. That's the word I was going to say. Into99.com.
Thanks again,
I'm
everyone.
a professional.
Thanks again, everyone who's listened. We keep hitting listener milestones, and it can't be done without you guys. So just sincerely, everyone who takes the time to listen, we all want to say thank you. We appreciate it, and we want to hear from you. We make this because we love talking about Commanders. So
and clearly you do too. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Catch you later.
See ya.
Bye.